What's up, guys? Today we are doing another one of my drive home from work videos. This time I wanted to mention some of the changes that have come up recently having to do with dog tags, what the impetus was for, or at least I think the impetus was for those changes, and what we should know about dog tags, their trade value, etc. going forward. So a couple weeks ago I did a video about the whole risk and reward end game, game design philosophy, etc. on Tarkov, saying that the game needed to change and throwing some ideas out. Since then I talked to Nikita. We shared some of our ideas, some of our thoughts, some of our conclusions and analyses based on some of the information. We definitely had a difference of interpretation over some of the data, over some of the issues that I discussed in that video. But nonetheless, we had a good conversation about some of the things that might be coming up in the future, as well as some things that we could maybe do now in the interim to fix the whole risk-reward problem as I outlined in that video. One of the things that I had mentioned in that conversation had to do with dog tag prices, and how back in the day dog tag prices were much better, so that if you killed somebody like a hatchling or a pistolling, you at least got your money back for your investment in ammo or whatever small amount of damage they might have done to your armor, helmet, or whatever. So one of the things that he did after this conversation was increase the value of dog tags. Now, there's a base value, but then there's also the value that you can sell them to traders, and that's really all we kind of care about. The value used to be, I don't know if it was 200 or 250, but you could sell them for about 200, 250 rubles per level to therapist. That has since been increased, so now that you can sell dog tags to therapist for 450 rubles per level. So that's pretty nice in that it's almost a doubling of the value. So it doesn't really make it so that you're profiting very much if if it takes you a magazine of 995 or something to kill a super low geared guy or a hatchling zigzagging down a corridor or whatever, but it helps. And it makes it so that if you wipe factory and it happens to be 5 hatchlings, you'll at least, get some return on your investment. And that will be almost double what it was before this change. Another change that I recommended was adding some more late game trades for dog tags. Make it so that you get more value, more bang for your buck out of killing in the late game. So what was added was a trade for the Zuck armor, the level 6 armor, like the fort, but it doesn't have arm protection. So you could trade that at Ragman level 3, and you could trade for the RSAS at Peacekeeper level 3. And I forget exactly what those trades were. I'll toss them up on screen. But we kind of talked a little bit about what the value should be, and at the time I wasn't around the game client, so I couldn't really come up with the numbers for what I thought those trades should be in terms of quantity and level requirement. But since having that conversation, a lot of people have been asking me, what do I do with my dog tags now? I was using those new trades because I wanted to take advantage of the cool new trades. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut right to this, because what happened was I got home after recording all of this discussion and realized that my initial kind of hypothesis or analysis, I guess, was flawed in a way. So let me just show you guys, we'll cut right to the chase, show you guys the conclusion that I've come to. In a nutshell, what you should do if you have dog tags that are less than level 10, if you really want to maximize the amount of money that you're getting from your dog tags, is trade the level 1 to 9 dog tags for MBSS backpacks. So let me show you real quick. If you were to sell all 4 of these tags as level 4, 5, 5, and 8, all 4 of these tags to Therapist, you'd get 9,900 rubles. If you were to instead trade them for 2 MBSS backpacks and then sell those backpacks to Skier, you're going to get 15,000 rubles. So in a nutshell, what you end up getting there is 15,000 rubles divided by, what was the total dog tag? There was 8 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4. You're getting 680 rubles essentially per level, and that was just average out of those two. So that is much better than the 450 rubles per level that you get from selling to Therapist. Now, if you have any dog tags that are level 10 or higher, if you were to sell those, let's say the average is 15 between level 10 to 20, selling this to Therapist, you're going to be getting 6,750 rubles. If instead you go to max level Ragman and trade it for a cowboy hat, which requires 1 level 10 dog tag, you will instead get 13,000 rubles for the cowboy hat instead of 6,000. So literally double the value per level doing the cowboy hat trade. Oh, okay, first world problems, I guess. Now, of course, the thing that some of you might realize is that you're going to get diminishing returns from higher level dog tags with the cowboy hat trade, because what you're essentially doing is trading 1 dog tag for a cowboy hat, but at some point the value of the dog tag based on the level of the player is going to be more than the value of the cowboy hat, which was, like I said, around 13,000. So at what point does that rule no longer become true, and you should, find an alternative solution to what to do with your dog tags? So here's where one of my patented spreadsheets comes into play. What I did was take all of the trades that you have available to you for dog tags, figure out what the level requirement was, who the trader was, what the quantity of dog tags were, figured out if I were to kind of average out based on the average level that you would trade the dog tag for the based on the minimum level requirement times as many dog tags as there are, figure out what the average sale value you would get if you were to just sell those dog tags, and compare them to if you were to trade the dog tags and then sell the item directly to a trader, or in some cases selling them on the flea market instead. Something like the Alted Face Shield or armor, stuff like that tends to be a lot more money selling it on the flea market, and actually the RSAS would be some more money on the flea market as well, but it doesn't really change. Honestly, once you sort of plot out and compare the profit that you would get from selling your dog tags by level and how those compare to kind of the static lines that are the trades. So if you look at from level 1 to 10, you really only have the ability to sell the dog tags directly, or to trade them for the MBSS backpack with Ragman. Now, as you can see here, up until about level 8-ish, the MBSS dog tag is worth the MBSS trade is worth it for you. Otherwise, between levels 8 and 10, it really is kind of a wash. You're probably better off just selling the tags, or if you're lazy and you just want to keep doing the trade, that's fine. So as you can see, once you hit level 10, the cowboy hat trade is way more profitable than any of the other alternatives, up until about level 20, which you should try to use up your 3 Alten Shield trades if possible. that you have per reset. Otherwise, if you're just lazy like me, the rule that I've been following is basically trade cowboy hats until you get to about level 28 tags. And then after that, the min-maxy thing to do is do the Alton shield trade. But ultimately speaking, that's just one more set of kind of bullshit that you have to go through, and the UI for trading the dog tags is annoying, and sometimes it chooses dog tags that you might not want, like a level 60 tag or something. So really, in a nutshell, to me, you should do, for low level tags, MBSS. For anything between level 10 and about level 28, you should be trading for cowboy hats and selling those cowboy hats right to skier. And then pretty much everything from 28 and up, you're just going to get more money selling the tags directly to therapist. So I think that's kind of my conclusion as it is right now. I'm really hoping that that these trades can be updated, especially with the new buffed dog tag prices, to make more sense, because right now, honestly, they don't make sense. Pretty much all of these trades are worthless, with the exception of like 2 or 3 of them. And even those aren't really huge gains for the most part. But yeah, so if you guys appreciate this, if this is something that you were curious about, or if you have any issues with my analysis, or if I did something wrong, by all means let me know. I would like to know if there was some major flaw in the logic or analysis or anything like that. If you guys appreciate this kind of thing and you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button on YouTube. I don't ask this very often, but if you think I've earned your subscription with the amount of work that I put into these analyses, please hit the sub button. It'll mean the world to me if I can get to my goal of 100,000 YouTube subscribers by the end of this year. We're about halfway through the year, and I'm about halfway there. So I appreciate the support so far, and I wish you guys luck out there on the battlefield. We'll see you later.